Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the final episode of the Media Boat Podcast of 2025. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike. Why would we stop when tomorrow, fun fact alert, is the 10th anniversary of this podcast? We had started this podcast, our first episode, on December 31st, 2015. So
Well,
why would
I don't
we
know. Is it
stop?
the 30th or the 31st?
You wrote the 31st.
Okay, I wrote the 31st, yeah. That's when it was published, the 31st.
Yeah, quite a. I mean, it could be today, recording wise. I don't remember. I don't remember that far back.
I don't know. Go us 10 years ago, us.
Yeah, that
I
was a
don't know.
long time
Let's check
ago.
this Google Doc here. What's the first edit ever made?
Well, while you're doing that, yes, thank you for joining us at the Media Boat Podcast. This is December 30th, 2025. It is episode 519. And yeah, like we said, we're kind of celebrating a little milestone here, but maybe we'll talk about that a little later on a different forum. For now, we have a regular show for you today, which we will start as usual with music and go ahead and take it.
Yep. Like I said, this is episode 519, recording on the penultimate day of the year.
Yes.
And we're gonna start with the music section. Start the music section with the Billboard. Start the Billboard with the Hot 100. And the hottest song in the land is still racking up the record. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Coming in at 2, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, sung by Brenda Lee. At 3 is Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms. 4, Last Christmas by Wham! And ready at your top 5, Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande. Now, this should be the last week for Christmas songs.
Yeah.
That being said, it's kind of a toss bag when it goes to the new year. But as for your Billboard 200, your albums chart, at number 1 is still The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift. At 2, Ultimate Christmas by Bing Crosby. Followed up at 3, Christmas by Michael Bublé. At 4, The Christmas Song by Nat King Cole.
Uh-huh.
And rounding out your top 5, A Christmas Gift for You from Phil Spector. Yes, that Phil Spector. By various artists. Made about favorite various artists. Yeah,
Yes.
here's where all your Christmas albums drop.
Yeah, that will also likely change next week.
Yep. If you don't want to listen to those albums, no one wants to be the first one out the gate as we start 2026, Friday the 2nd, with no new releases that
Yes.
we're recording about.
Well, no,
I'm sure someone's going to actually drop something.
maybe somewhere, but like, yeah, like nothing until probably next week.
All right. Well, then let's get into our music news.
Yep.
And well, we got to talk about Forbes here because according to Forbes, there's a new billionaire on the block. Beyonce is now a billionaire, making her the one, two, three, four, fifth musician to reach that milestone. She will join husband Jay-Z along with Taylor Swift, Bruce Springsteen, Rihanna, and there's Beyonce at number 5 in the billionaire club. In recent years, Beyonce has seen major success. See her Renaissance tour in 2023, which grossed nearly $600 million. And then in 2024, she released Cowboy Carter, and then went on to anchor the world's highest grossing concert tour of 2025 because the Eras Tour stopped touring.
Yeah. I mean, slow music week, as you might imagine. So this is the biggest story. It's not super surprising considering that besides the Eras tour, Beyonce's tours have been probably the most successful of the last 10 years. So yeah,
Mhm.
although it does make you wonder what that household is like right now. Like two billionaires under the same roof. If you combine their money, that's a lot of money.
If you combine their money, you're still 100 billions away from some of the richest people in the world. But no, good on Beyonce reaching that number five. I think if you would actually name the other four, I would have gotten two of these.
Yeah, I know Rihanna is not because of music. It's her
Yes.
makeup empire that has made her
Hmm.
that money. Also interesting that Selena Gomez is not on this list. I believe she does qualify, also thanks to her makeup empire. But yeah, the surprise to me was Bruce Springsteen, not necessarily the first name that would come to mind when you think someone who is a billionaire.
Based off music, because I'm sure, like, well, is this living, dead, or all time?
I'm guessing currently living because when you talk about dead, you're also talking about like estates, which is a different conversation.
Yeah, because like Michael Jackson estate
Yeah,
is probably still bringing in billions. The
I would
Jimmy
imagine.
Buffett Margaritaville estate is still
Right.
way up there.
Yeah, I would imagine that, yeah, this is just currently alive that own their own wealth.
Yes. All right. Interesting. You didn't want to talk about any 2026 potential releases.
I thought that that's what we're due on the other podcast. I saw that you had done that with your categories, and I was like, oh, I forgot. I thought that that was something we did on the other show. So that's why I didn't do that.
Okay. I mean, I guess technically we kind of do that.
Didn't want to retread ground.
Well, that's okay. We can retread this ground because I can pull up some other stuff too.
It's okay.
All right. Well, let's go into video games then, where we have, once again, no new releases. No one wants to drop it first day of the year. But we'll
Nope.
be back next week. All right. So let's then go over to Media Boat, semi-favorite, CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt has sold its PC game store, GOG.com. It is no longer owner of that domain,
Hmm.
kind of technically, because its co-founder, Michael Kaczynski, has purchased it. For those of you that are unaware, GOG.com is focused on DRM-free digital games, including modern releases and the preservation of classic games, and has operated within Witcher and Cyberpunk owner CD Projekt for the past 17 years. Until Monday, when CD Projekt announced that its co-founder and major shareholder, Michael Kaczynski, is purchasing 100% of the shares in GOG for $25 million.
That's
As,
$90.7 million dollars in the Polish currency, in case you
yes,
were wondering.
which is where they're located. As part of the deal, CD Projekt and GOG have signed a distribution agreement that includes a plan to release CD Projekt Red's upcoming games to the platform.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting because I remember way back 17 years ago when this happened. GOG, formerly known as goodoldgames.com, was once like the place to get old games because that was one of the things that Steam didn't do initially. It was like, oh, we're not gonna sell like stuff that like archival stuff. And so GOG swept in and was like, oh, here's where you can buy like Roller Coaster Tycoon that'll play on a modern computer, for example. I mean, now Steam does have some older games such as Roller Coaster Tycoon, but GOG was still reliable for that kind of thing. And so I remember it was kind of controversial at the time when it got bought by CD Projekt. But now, yeah, now it's going to be an independent entity. Although, yeah, I'm not really sure how it's worded here. I don't know if it means the co-founder of GOG is this Kaczynski fellow, or if that's the co-founder of CD Projekt. I'm not sure, and it doesn't distinguish those two. So I don't know actually if it's still technically owned by someone who is still within CD Projekt.
Right, but it was started within CD Projekt as a way to help preserve these
Well, it
games.
wasn't actually. Like I said, it was independent
Yes.
prior. So it wasn't actually, that's not true.
Uh,
They bought it.
well,
Yeah.
it got bought.
Yeah.
All
Anyway.
right. Anyways, I've did you unwrap a new game under your Christmas tree?
Nope, no new games. I will say briefly, I'm watching a video game being played.
Okay.
Um, Christy is playing Game of the Year in some circles, Clear Obscure Expedition 33.
I'm sorry, you mean AI infused Claire Obscura?
They removed it. We covered this story already.
Yes.
But yeah, she decided that she was interested in it because she's like still trying to play a bunch of turn-based RPGs. She's found out that that's a thing that she likes. And so I suggested this. I was like, well, it's French too. And she studied abroad in French at one point. Um, she knows the language fairly well. So yeah, she was like, yeah, sure. This is two checks 2 marks on my list. So yeah, I've been watching her play through the first few hours of that so far. It's been very entertaining. I see why people like it. I didn't realize it was a Paper Mario. Like
And
basically
you
that's
like
the
Paper Mario.
and I like Paper Mario. And like the turn-based combat has those like timed um like button presses to accentuate your damage and or parry or dodge. So there's a lot to the combat system, which is pretty cool. And I like the story so far. The characters are really interesting. I like the world that they're setting up. So yeah, I'm excited to see what more that game has, but I'm not actually playing it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate though.
But what are you playing according
So
to this
what
list?
I was able to unwrap under my tree was not Borderlands 4, which I thought would be there. Instead, I got Pokemon Z.
Hey,
Hey, Legends.
Pokemon Za, Pokemon Pizza.
Yes. So I am literally about 3 missions into it. So it's weird because it's not a traditional
Hmm.
gym battle
No.
like type setup because it's set all within the city of Lumios. So there's no like real gym going around battling at different gyms. Instead, you're climbing the ranks of this battle royale tournament that they're having, going from rank Z, all the way to rank A. So
Right.
in essence, there's 26 specific battles that you have to complete in order to rank up to A.
Not really.
Not really. No.
Not really. I know about the skipping several letters thing.
Yes,
The game doesn't make you do all of
it should.
it.
But yeah, so right now I'm just walking. I'm kind of getting sidetracked a lot because there's a lot of different side quests into it.
Hmm.
And with those side quests, like they pop up like, ooh, I'm gonna go here, gonna do this, gotta do that. And it's kind of like in my completionist mode of not wanting to complete everything, wanting to complete everything, but not wanting to do everything in this way it says it.
Hmm.
So running around doing that, having fun though. Because there's no technically new Pokemon introduced, I'm just kind of finding Pokemon that I like and using
Yeah.
them. Meaning I got a Flaffy right off the bat, so I can get my Ampharos.
Nice.
And I love my Ampharos. Pick Crocodile because pick Crocodile because I like for alligator. Went and spent about way too long trying to hunt down an Abra because I wanted an Alakazam at the very end. Not knowing that eventually, like they do give you other starter Pokemon, like a Froakie, like a
Oh,
Chespin. I was like, oh, well, okay, thanks, but I'm already like set on like my team that I want to make. And that's kind of the good thing about like these Legends games that they don't follow the traditional Pokemon format. They're new, they're experimental. It's open
yeah.
world. There's a moving camera. The battles are
Yeah.
all dynamic. They're not turn-based. So if all my attacks are quick attacks, I can just do 3 attacks right in a row before you get one off, and boom, easy wins.
How are you liking that different battle system? Do you like find yourself liking it more, or do you find yourself kind of wishing it was traditional?
Uh, I'm kind of leaning towards liking it because it kind of was introduced a bit in Pokemon Sword and Shield, where you could quick attack a Pokemon before going to an actual battle. But if you didn't one shot it, then you go to an actual battle, or you could just have it attack multiple times over and over until it took it out.
Scarlet and
Which
Violet had a version of that as well.
wasn't that after
Yeah, that's
Sword and
after
Shield?
Sword and Shield.
Yeah, but Sword and Shield did it first. That's why I'm going back to that.
But yeah, and then Legends
Because they
Arceus
also did
also
like the
kind of
open worlds.
did something similar to that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's not new per se, but it's really helpful when all I do is run around and just help like level up my Pokemon. Still don't like that I have to have them in my team to level them up, But at least I have my
Sure.
box everywhere, and I can just swap in and out willy-nilly as I need.
Which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, no longer have to go straight to a Pokemon store to find a PC. But it's fine. I mean, I'm too new into this to where I don't know if it would even appear on my top five list, but I
Sure.
think I like the mechanics enough to where it would make a strong consideration for it.
Okay. So this will be kind of your first thing you play in the new year kind of game.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
get more into it. I probably won't have a full like completion of the game for a couple weeks,
Hmm.
but we'll see how long this, like I said, the battle royale ranking lasts, especially
Yeah.
uh the specific zones where you can capture certain Pokemon.
Yeah.
I kind of miss the different biomes, but I'll see what else the game provides.
Yeah, I'm interested to see you play more of it because as you dig more into the story, there's some like interesting story things that they do with it about like a city being where people and Pokemon live alongside and how that actually like affects the politics of the city is interesting. And also, I want to see eventually if you do kind of tire of the location because I've seen a lot of people say, well, everything's kind of samey because you're only in one city and there's only so much they can do to differentiate the different parts of it. So yeah,
They
as you play
do
more of it,
layer
I'm
it where you can
curious.
run across the rooftops and battle
Hmm.
and find and battle different Pokemon, as well as the night and day cycle. So it does offer at least some variation, but I can definitely see it getting older, especially
Yeah,
because you can fast travel across the world really quickly
yeah.
to the different Pokemon centers.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to hear more reports
Hmm.
from Lumios. That's the city, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Cool. Couple of French games
I
this
guess
week.
so. Yeah.
All
All right. Well
right.
then,
Cool.
let's get into television with the Sports Corner.
Sports Corner.
Yep. And the last week of the NFL is here. Week 18, 19, 18 schedule is out. We have two Saturday games where we have the Panthers play the Buccaneers for the NFC South Championship, and then the Seahawks play the 49ers for not only the NFC West Championship, but the number one seed for potential bye as well. But that does mean the Sunday night game goes to the Ravens versus the Steelers for the AFC North Championship,
Okay.
aka Lamar Jackson versus Aaron Rodgers.
Boo.
On which side?
I'm booing Aaron Rodgers, of course.
Okay. I said, but that would break Mike Tomlin's streak of playoff appearances.
Who cares?
The streak cares. All right. Over in the D League for football, it's bowl season. Bowl season continues. The Music City Bowl is currently happening right now. We saw
And
the Pop-Tart Bowl this past
yes,
weekend.
I saw the dual, almost triple sacrifice, and then one of them ran away. But I did, yes, I did see the clips that mattered. So I'm
Yes.
satisfied with the Pop Tarts Bowl.
And then we also have the New Year's Day quarterfinals for the college playoffs happening with one game on the 31st and three games on the 1st. One of them being the Rose Bowl, not technically scheduled to be rained out, but there are heavy storms in the area that are being
True.
watched. And it's an open stadium, it's a
We'll
bowl
see.
game, and it's going to
Right?
be a wet, rainy game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the quarterfinals. Winners of those games play each other in the semis before the actual final game later in January.
Got it.
All right, but they're not the only ones celebrating, as in hockey, we have the annual Winter Classic game where they play outdoors, where they play outdoors,
Sure. Yes.
quote unquote. The NHL, as part of its celebration for the Winter Classic game, is going to be between the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers in Miami Marlins Stadium. And they have special plans to make it snow within the stadium.
Sure.
That'll be, they're still putting the ice down. They're dropping the temperature, make sure everyone can play on it. That'll happen on January 2nd for the Winter Classic game.
Got it.
And lastly, in winter sports, the NBA, your MVP, question mark of the league, Nikola Jokic. I say question mark MVP because he's currently leading in assists and rebounds in the league.
Mhm.
Is expected to miss 4 weeks with a knee injury.
Ooh.
His teammate backed up into him and it looked like it popped. So he's going to miss 4 weeks at a minimum, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Guess so.
But that does go right into the 2026 NBA All-Star Game, which will be taking place in February in Los Angeles. It will include its usual 24 All-Stars, but with a little twist this year. Uh, it will be a USA versus the world format, where the USA will field two different teams, whereas the world will only field one team. The
Mhm.
three All-Star teams will play in a little round robin daily tournament to determine a winner. So get your votes in for the NBA All-Star game. LeBron really needs your votes.
Does he?
Kind of. He normally a top 10 player, currently sitting at number 9 in the Western Conference, number 16 overall.
Dang.
Oh, the mighty have fallen for the 41-year-old. But I mean, he's going to get a spot. Maybe not a starting spot, but a spot nonetheless. Or they give him the spot to preserve the streak.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for sports, unless there was more MLB news that I didn't see.
Nope, nope. Quiet time for the baseball, I think, at the moment.
Yep. All right. Let's get into TV news, and it goes right in with my TV thoughts.
Yes.
So, Pluribus
Hmm.
ended on Christmas Eve, the 24th. Pluribus Season 2, unfortunately, won't be happening for a while. According to series creator Vince Gilligan, he said, quote, "We're working on it, and I would love to go faster if I could," close quote, which led to a lot of online scuttlebutt of why does it take 2 years, 3 years for these prestige dramas to unravel and come out? What happened to the good old days of 26 episodes each season, each year? Why can't they just pump this out like normal? Why do we have to wait till 2027 to see the next iteration of this, if later? And then this, of course, bundles up with the Stranger Things finale that is
Mm,
currently happening as well, as that show has taken 10 years to wrap up 5 seasons, four
yeah.
seasons, 5 seasons.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah, depends on what timeline you're looking at. But yeah, just basically still balls to this big, like, open conversation of streaming development of shows runs at a very different pace than what we used to have in cable and network television.
Yeah.
And fans are mad about that.
Well, it's a different kind of business. And I think people who watch television don't realize that from the other side. But yeah, it has been since the advent of this. This is why streaming seasons are traditionally so short.
Right. I mean, there's a lot, not necessarily a bigger, well, a lot more that goes into it, but definitely a bigger budget that typically goes into these shows. And the creators have a lot more freedom and control where you won't have these, uh, I mean, that's why they had filler episodes. That's why you had the clip
Yeah,
shows. That's
exactly.
why you
Yes.
had the one location shoots. Because You had to pump them out on a weekly basis. You had
Yeah.
to get 13 to 20 episodes a year out. Now, 10 episodes when you complete it. The deadline, the due date is non-existent anymore. All right. But that does bring us to talking about Pluribus.
Yes. So
You
you
did not watch
finished
this.
season one. I have not watched this yet. We still may or may not. We'll see.
Okay. I'll try and convince you to not watch it.
What? To not watch it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh, as much as it is a technical and like visual pleasure to watch, the story is very lacking, I feel. It didn't grab my attention as much as it would, but then again, the other Vince Gilligan shows, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, also did not grab my attention as much either. Not quite the anti-hero story here that those other twos are known for,
Hmm.
but it is more of a character-driven drama about finding happiness but still being miserable, especially in this kind of like pseudo alien invasion hive mind that takes over the world. But if everyone's the same, how can you be different? If everyone knows everything, everyone's like nothing's unique. Nothing is culturally yours anymore. You kind of lose those barriers, lose your
Hmm.
identity in a cultural hive mind. I've seen theories around playing on like, oh, this is like telling on like AI, where if everyone knows everything, then what's the point of no one's going to create anything new because there's nothing to like no purpose for it because you just plug whatever thought you want into AI and it'll just spit it out back out at you because it's trying to please you.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar here. I've seen theories of like alien invasions and like why our main protagonist here, uh, Carol, is immune to the virus for some reason, like her and 12 people. I just chalk it up to your 1%, like 1 in a billion% chance of like being the selected one. And
Sure.
like you don't have to think too much into it instead of some people trying to be like, oh, what if she's like an descendant of like a different alien race? That's why she has different DNA and isn't affected by this. I was like, okay, that's a bit too far stretched there. Like, can't just be a 1 in a billion chance. And if there's 8 billion people in the world, at least 8 people, 1 in a billion chance, are not going to be affected. So there's a lot of shots where it tends to linger, but also kind of want to make you, it does sort of make you like appreciate the scene and look at the scene. But at the same time, you may not want to do that. You may want to be like, okay, this is taking forever. Let me check my phone. Let me go do something else. Let me put this on in the background because nothing's happening. But that also plays into like extending the loneliness and trying to like get you to feel like, oh, like it's playing out this way because there's no one around to interact with anymore. So yeah, there's this like huge dichotomy like in the media sphere, you could say, of
Hmm.
like the side who loves this and the side who doesn't get it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like in the middle where like I get it, but I don't love it, but I understand what they're going for. But if we're gonna wait 3 seasons to give me to give me answers, I'm not gonna care by the time it comes back around.
Yeah. I mean, it might just not be for you. Then
And that's
that's
okay.
and then the pain is compounded by the fact that just how these shows are made. And so yeah, I
Mhm.
think it's both things at once. I think there are people that are going to probably be frustrated that they're not going to get answers for a very long time. But you know, it depends on whether how invested you are, whether that's going to bug you or not. And yeah, that's kind of the double-edged sword of this, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, same thing
Yeah.
with Stranger Things, where it set up a whole bunch of questions 10
Hmm.
years ago, and some of them got answered, a lot of them didn't. And, mileage may vary.
Yeah.
We didn't really like Stranger Things when it came out 10 years ago.
It's very funny looking back on, obviously, this is pre-streaming, but I feel like the canary in the coal mine for all this is Lost, right?
Hmm.
I feel like that was the first big, oh, there's so many questions and they didn't really answer any of them. And like when they finally did, it was disappointing show that we had. And I think it changed what the water cooler show became after that. And now every show is Lost. Like streaming turned every television show, at least in the prestige side, to a puzzle box like Lost, where like you're either going to be frustrated with it because it doesn't give you what you want, or like ultimately disappointed by it, or like yeah, it's just you can't make television that pleases everybody anymore. It's just impossible with the streaming market.
I mean, that's also true because J.J. Abrams never wants to open his mystery boxes. He
Yeah.
wants to let someone else do that. And then when he doesn't like their answer, what they pulled out, he goes back to try and fix it, and it turns into a big mess. But that's a J.J. Abrams problem.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're
exactly.
right. It's good to have like those mysteries that kind of linger and keeps people talking. But if you're gonna take 2 years, 3 years, you're gonna lose all that momentum from the first season, from those first interactions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Oh
So
well.
that was Pluribus.
Yeah.
Did you finish the other show? I assume you did.
No, I still haven't. I didn't wrap up the Eras Tour documentary series. I'm hoping to soon. I'm trying to finish up a music project finally, so that way I can move on to other things, and I still haven't finished that. So,
All right. So end of an era, the Taylor Swift doc. All 6 episodes are up. All
yep.
6 episodes are 1 hour long. It does feel long.
Yeah, I bet.
It does go into a lot of different aspects of not just the tour, but Taylor's life and then her family's life and the different parts of people highlighted on the tour. It's interesting enough to be like seen. I don't know if it's 6 hours worth of interesting.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, it's up there. It's there, or you can watch it. You don't. Miss Americana is shorter, and you kind of get the same kind of gist.
Fair
All
enough.
right. Cancellations and renewals.
There are
I got
none,
nothing.
which means it's time to go into television news, which we skipped over just
That
now.
was TV news.
I guess so. But we have more news on the TV section.
No, no, I
We
thought we're moving this to the other one.
Oh, you're moving this? Okay, never
Yeah,
mind. Beep, 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 beep. It's being moved.
yeah.
Okay,
Back it up. The TV
in that
news was
case,
the streaming taking too
got
long.
it. Well, if it's in front of me, I'm gonna read it. So anyway, let's
Okay,
move
Ron
on.
Burgundy.
Exactly. Let's move on then, if we don't have cancellations and renewals, into the last section for the day, which is movies. And we always start with the weekend box office numbers. And yes, I take the 2025 crown, but yet again by winning again this week and winning overall as well. Because Avatar: Fire and Ash did repeat at number one this week, not Anaconda, as you guessed, to the tune of $63 million dollars in the second week. Not that bad of a drop, honestly. That's at 216 million domestic already. That's followed at number two by Zootopia 2 with $19 million this week. That's at 321. Marty Supreme cracked its top five at number three in its wide debut, which is $17 million that week. That's at 28. And number four, The Housemaid made $15 million this week. That's at 46. And way down to number five is Anaconda, only making $14 million and at a current mark of 23 million domestic.
Yeah, I thought Anaconda with the newness and the Paul Ruddness
Yeah,
would, you know, do a dent of something like a counter programming, a comedy.
it did
I
not.
guess not.
So that
This is where
means,
Avatar makes all its money too.
yeah, oh yeah. So that means that the year-end totals for us for box office predictions. Your record: 12 wins, 26 losses. You have some work to
Once
do
a
in
month.
2026. Yeah.
Once a month. I was right.
And then my record was 18 wins and 20 losses, just 2 wins away from a 500 record this year, but I couldn't quite do it.
Yes. And if you're wondering why those aren't just the inverse, it's because there were several weeks
Yeah,
we both got the number one movie wrong, in which case we
right.
both put in the loss.
There was also some that we didn't bet on because it was solo shows that week.
Yep.
Going into 2026, we'll probably do this more consistently. We'll also start from the beginning of the year, so maybe we'll have a better total. But yeah, we'll see.
Thought
All
we did
right.
start at the beginning of the year.
Did we? 18
I
and
thought we did.
20, 36, roughly. Okay. Um, well,
Trying
what
to get
are
to
we watching?
52.
Yeah, right. Not quite.
All right.
But yes, but we have to talk about real quick our first pick of the new year by talking about the new releases. There are
Okay.
two, there are two, and we have to choose between them. I don't think either of these are number one, is
No.
my initial feeling. Also, I feel like depending on who you ask, these names could be interchangeable.
Probably. Yeah.
You have a movie called The Plague, or you have a movie called Kids Bop Live, the concert movie.
AKA The
The
Plague.
Plague. So, neither of those are going to be your number one. So, yes, it's Avatar. But I guess we have to pick a number then.
All right. So Avatar debuted to 86.
Hmm.
It's now at 63.
63. It will
So,
significantly drop, but how low will it drop?
well,
What are we
it's not
guessing?
dropping half from
Mm,
week one to week two.
yeah,
I don't
but
think
it
it's going to
might do
pick
it.
up anything.
It might drop half this time, though. We
All
could
right.
do 30.
Okay. I'll take the over on 30.
Okay, you'll take the over on 30. I'll take the under on 30. That's fine with me.
All right.
And we will reset the records
Yep.
next week for the new year. So get ready for that.
All right.
In the meantime, let's move on to, well, is there movie news?
Yes, there is.
Where to go?
Right here.
Thank you. Our movie news takes us to Walt Disney Studios, which, yes, like we do at the end of the year, we have to talk about how much money they made.
Well, not necessarily
Well,
Disney, but the biggest box
yes,
office champion.
right. Well, Walt Disney Studios was your big box office champion of the year, and officially the first and only studio to cross $6 billion worldwide in 2025. That's thanks to the recent addition of Avatar Fire and Ash at $450 million. This is Disney's fifth time clicking past 6 billion, the previous years being 2019, 2018, 2017, and 2016. Two $1 billion plus grossing titles this year. Disney had with Zootopia 2, which is at 1.3 billion to date, and Lilo and Stitch, which is at 1.038 billion, and are the only two MPA titles to cross that mark. So, congratulations to Disney, the only $1 billion movies this year.
I mean, I assume Avatar will cross that line, just
Yeah.
not in 2025.
Right. Yeah. So 2026, I imagine that, yeah, you'll see that Avatar hit that. And I think that you probably will see more $1 billion movies next year, considering that Universal has a Mario Brothers film coming. So that'll definitely do it. But yeah,
Yep.
2025 didn't really have those,
No, you got Avengers Doomsday out next year.
right? That
Assuming
too,
it holds that. You also have a Spider-Man movie coming out next year, assuming it holds it.
assuming that holds.
So those are two for Disney right there in $2 billion.
We'll see.
Assuming they hold, well, no, Spider-Man Sony doesn't count for them.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that'll do it for the movie section. And because I don't think we have any thoughts, I think we've talked about movies to death already this year.
Yep, we're good here.
All right. So that means we can wrap this episode up. So that'll do it for the Media Boat podcast in 2025. Our podcast feed, you know that this time of year is when we do our year-end wrap-up specials. Well, they should be popping up in your feed. You should have access to the 4 category episodes, including television, music, video games, and movies. Not necessarily in that order, but really at this point, whatever order you want to listen them to do them in. Then we also have a bonus pod that will be coming out tomorrow on the final day of the year. which is going to have a little bit of a peek into the future, as well as a look back at stuff in 2025 that we don't usually cover on the show. We traditionally do this every year. That episode is coming. We didn't forget about it. It is on the way and it should be in the feeds on the 31st. But if you don't listen to all that, you won't hear from us until the new year. So happy new year. Happy 2026. Good riddance 2025. And if you want to follow us in video form, go to YouTube, search Media Boat Podcast. If you want to find us on audio form, search podcast services of your choice for Media Boat Podcast. You can also email us at mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com if you have questions, comments, want to give us well wishes for the new year, any of that. But in the meantime, we'll be back next week in the new year for a new regular episode.
Yep, we'll be back with more news, more thoughts, and more of us as we kick off season 11.
Yes.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Come on. Okay, now